So we're in Hudson, New York. This is the Hudson Standard. Sitting here with Emily Worthman from the Hudson Standard. And what do you guys make?
So, we make apple cider vinegar syrups, fruit-based syrups called shrubs. You can also call them a drinking vinegar. They're a sweet tart syrup that's made from a blend of, we use organic non-GMO apple cider vinegar, real fruit, and organic non-GMO sweetener, whether it's honey, maple syrup, or organic non-GMO cane sugar.
Nice.
But we try to make these really delicious syrups that are hearkening back to another time when people used to make shrubs on the farm to preserve their fruit.
Nice. Yeah. It reminds me of like egg creams or something. It's like an old school drink, you know, like we're really doing an old timey kind of tasting here of CBD in something that's old. Like there's never been a CBD in a shrub. That's a new, you're taking a new spin on an old drink.
Yeah, exactly. It's definitely a new concept. People have not really done this too much before. There are other shrub makers that are using CBD, especially in like Colorado, where just all forms of cannabis are legal. Right. Like Dram Apothecary, we're very fond of. They also make a CBD drink, but ours, we're currently making this, and we are working on a ready to drink currently. Oh, nice. No pun intended.
Where do you get your maple syrup and stuff? Is that all local? Hudson Valley?
We found a source. I can't remember the name of their farm, but we found a really lovely woman when we were working at a particular market. And she sold us, it's no longer called grade B. I think that's sort of the outdated term for it. But she sold us the very dark, very like rich maple syrup.
Oh, I love that.
Super delicious.
Have you ever heard of that diet where you do like the cayenne and grade B? Oh, God. I can't eat cayenne because I tried that once and it just ripped me up.
And we create a particular shrub that has turmeric, cayenne, peppercorn, ginger, and honey. And we were considering it's our spicy turmeric switchel. And it's probably our most popular, our strawberry rhubarb and our spicy turmeric switchel are probably our most popular non-CBD shrubs. And we did try to put CBD into our spicy turmeric because it was it's so popular. We decided to try to marry the two, but we found that we found that the turmeric and also the CBD were kind of clumping and falling to the bottom of the bottle, and we took our bottle to the chemist at Hudson Hemp, where we get our CBD, and we asked her. We had no idea why it was doing that, and she said turmeric is a binding agent. It actually binds with other compounds and will drop and sink. And so we decided not to do it in that one.
There's the answer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, CBD likes to bind to the fats and things like that. So you get your CBD from Hudson Hemp, you said? Is it an isolate or is it like a full spectrum CBD?
We use isolate, and we do use distillate. We used distillate in our mellow currant shrub, and we used terpenes as well, because we found that we used isolate in the watermelon chill shrub, which is watermelon, peppermint, rose, and CBD isolate.
Oh, that sounds fucking delicious.
It's so good. It's so good. Yeah.
I can't wait to try it.
It's really good on like a hot summer's day. It's super hydrating and it really mellows you out. So we
today. It's nice and hot.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to get toasty.
Right.
So we when we initially started with the watermelon chill flavor. Hudson Hemp is a recently occurring hemp business. It's organic. It's actually regenerative. It's a step above sustainability. They're actually leaving the land in better condition than when they found it. And so it's where
are they based out of?
They're in Livingston, New York. So they're about 10 minutes outside of town. So we're getting it super locally. Wow. We know the farmers. We know the plants. We've met the plants. There's just everyone's super happy and just like waves and smiles at you when you enter. It seems sort of like the best cult
ever. They grow the hemp on site? Wow, that's great.
And their plants are beautiful. They've had a number, you should definitely follow their Instagram.
Yeah, I got to go there.
And they have some really amazing people that they're working with. And so they started, and they're backed by the Rockefellers. And so they started this business, and we thought that would be like a really amazing opportunity to try to partner with them and showcase all of this amazing bounty in the Hudson Valley.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, they must have got in under the pilot program or something, because it's so new in New York.
I think they did. their people, I think, were very connected with the state, and so they just did everything that they were supposed to do, and they consequently have this very beautiful farm.
That's awesome.
And so we get our isolate from there, and we bought our watermelon juice. We actually bought watermelons. I think it was like 1,000 pounds of watermelon.
Wow.
And we juiced it all, like chopped all of the 1,000 pounds with knives on
all
cutting
in this
boards.
room.
Yeah, all in this
Wow.
room. We used a Vitamix and had to strain it. It was very labor intensive.
That's a lot of like green, like husk to just chuck.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Compost.
Yeah.
I take it to my parents' place. We still have like compost buckets outside. And I when we first started out, we didn't have a place to take it, but Marianne and I are both very environmentally minded and try to be as conscientious as we can in all of our processes. So
that's great.
I just started, I called my parents, was like, hey, you guys don't mind if I just, they live in Woodstock. And so I could just chuck it into their woods. They have a whole compost pile area. So we
watermelon fields.
Yeah, exactly. Unfortunately, I don't think we got any of the seeds intact because we might have started, a little watermelon farm of our own.
Right.
But so that was the first flavor that came to fruition, which was really positively received. I think it was last September or October, we unveiled it at Field and Supply, the market called Field and Supply at the Hutton Brickyards in Kingston.
Cool.
And people were just like, just give me that.
Well, I want to be pleasantly surprised by it myself.
Do you want to try it?
My taste buds are like, come on, give me some watermelon.
All right.
I need some CBD. I need to re-up. All right. So what is that? You've just got a decanter full of, what is that?
It's just soda water, just seltzer.
Okay.
So originally shrubs were sort of known as like Haymaker's Punch. They were known as a really hydrating beverage. Vinegar is very hydrating. And so you would take your fruit from the farm. If it was getting very ripe, you'd put it in vinegar that would preserve it, sweeten it up. You had this delicious syrup that you could then add to later cocktails, but initially they just added it to water. And it also helped make water potable.
My mouth is watering.
Yes, exactly. No pun intended.
You're getting me thirsty. I want to try this.
Yeah. So this is the watermelon chill shrub. It's very tasty. And
cool.
Shrubs they're a syrup, they're a concentrate. So you do not drink right out of the bottle. I mean, some people do, but I wouldn't recommend it. It's about a 1-to-7 ratio, 1 ounce of shrub for every 7 to 8 ounces of seltzer or water. You can use hot water or cold water.
And we're drinking it out of these hipster ball glasses. This is the glasses that you can like jam in or something. Preserves.
Oh yeah.
All right. So cheers.
Salud.
Yeah.
To your health.
All right. I'm going to try this. I do taste the watermelon. That was actually like chopped up right here. That's amazing. I feel like I've come to the source, like where this is made.
Oh yeah.
The same room.
We're 4 women in a kitchen. Yeah. Like a very small operation and very familial. And so just like, and we're oftentimes, our objective is to showcase the bounty of the Hudson Valley.
Oh, that's great.
So we're working with fruits and plants and things that really grow around here. At least we're trying to do that.
Yeah. I love spotlighting, places that are trying to incorporate CBD in the Hudson Valley. And this is great that you guys are doing this. I'm going to take another sip. You said it's good over ice too?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Do you have some ice?
I wish we had some more.
Oh no.
I think the girls did not fill up the ice trays, unfortunately.
Okay.
But next time.
This is good though. It's got a really crisp taste. I can taste that really. It's interesting.
Shrubs are like a lot of people, you can add them to a cocktail as well. It's sort of it's almost like a detox retox like cocktail. So we call it a better for you cocktail because they're just made with really high quality ingredients. We made a really amazing sort of margarita out of the watermelon chill called the Very Jolly Ranchero that people were very positively responding to when we first unveiled it. But it's just like a very lovely mixer, but also a lot of people who don't drink really like shrubs because they're completely non-alcoholic. You can add them to a cocktail if you'd like, but a lot of bars actually in the area serve our CBD shrub as just a soda, and that can be a temperance drink, but still be very like relaxing and chill. So people can feel like they're having a cocktail, but they're not. They're just getting really hydrated.
A CBD mocktail.
Exactly.
Nice. Excuse me while I go in for more sips on this.
Me as well.
Considering we're going to be trying the other stuff, I want to like polish this up. It's good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's funny because I don't really like tonic water by itself or a seltzer, but with this in it, it is good. I can't stop drinking it.
You're going to be, like very hydrated and very relaxed.
So how many milligrams of CBD are in each of these bottles?
There's 120 milligrams per bottle, and we do recommend that you shake well because the CBD, especially with the watermelon, is suspended in the liquid. The isolate is suspended, so it might settle. And so we just, and also the fruit just tends to settle too. So we just recommend for a full holistic experience, give it a good shake.
Yeah, tinctures are the same. You shake the tincture before you do it.
And it's kind of fun. You give it some love first and state your intention. Not to get too hippy dippy. There's 120 milligrams per bottle, and we have a little bit more in the bitters, our hops and hemp bitters.
And that's a smaller bottle too.
It's a smaller bottle. It's 2 ounces. There's 300 milligrams of distillate in there, so it's broad spectrum. And it has a bit more of the cannabis flavor to it. We use organic, non-GMO cane alcohol, so it's gluten-free. There's 3 different types of Hudson Valley hops in here. And I actually deflowered the hops myself. Wow. Yeah. My hands got all shredded up. I did not realize how sharp hops was just really interesting.
I've seen them like at a brewery or something, just like hanging in vines. Yeah.
Looking very pastoral.
Never actually tried to rip them up myself.
Oh my gosh. It's like little needles. The flowers we used, Chinook, Tea Maker, and Cascade hops. The Chinook hops they were very large flowers. And when I was processing them, it was really interesting. I have previously was working in California, and I've trimmed before. So I'm very familiar with marijuana, cannabis as well.
Okay, you trimmed weed.
And so, yeah, exactly. And what I noticed when I was processing the hops was that it was covered in this very sticky, almost like a resin, crystal resins. Wow. Yeah. That smelled really potent. And I was just like, what is this? This is amazing. This reminds me so much of marijuana.
Right.
And I found out that actually hops and marijuana or cannabis are close cousins, that they're actually related. And so their flavors blend really nicely together.
Oh, wow. Cool.
So the hops and hemp bitters, they have 300 milligrams of CBD distillate. And so it has a bit more of a cannabis flavor. You get the hops in there. And we also use a little bit of bitter orange peel as the bittering agent.
Nice. A little zest.
Yeah, exactly. And so those are really tasty. They're very bitter and earthy. So they're bitters are like a very good tummy tonic. But they also act as a flavor enhancer. Just a fun fact is that with bitters, the reason why they act as a flavor enhancer, a lot of bartenders call it the salt of a cocktail. It enhances flavor because evolutionarily humans have developed a strong reaction to anything bitter because a lot of poisons are bitter, but also a lot of good things like broccoli rub. A lot of good things are bitter. And so our brain goes into high alert whenever we taste something bitter. And so consequently, we taste everything better. Wow. So if you put a good bitter thing that's not poison into a beverage, it kind of ties it all together and it enhances all of the flavors in the beverage.
That is a fun fact. I love anything that triggers your like reptilian ancient brain.
Oh yeah. Lizard brain for sure. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Like we stopped on the way here at a Stewart's just to get some food before we were tasting the CBD. And there were these like bright red hot dogs. Like what the hell is that about? But like, I don't know if you've ever heard of like, that's why stop signs are red. It's a trigger. It's an instant trigger because like our ancient caveman brains, if you saw red, which there wasn't much of in the wild unless someone was bleeding. And it's like, well, this is time to either run the fuck away because a saber-toothed tiger is attacking the tribe or fight. Or
snarf.
What's snarf?
Oh, eat. But snarf very, very intensely.
Right. We've killed something and now we're going to eat.
Devour. Yeah.
So it has that instant trigger. Like that's why the stop signs are like that bright red. So you can instantly see them. Bitters bright on your tongue. It's a different type of,
high
trigger.
Alert.
Yeah. So I want to get this trigger now. Let's try it.
You want to try some?
Let me chug this watermelon now.
Sure. We usually, for the bitters, the best way to try it, I find, and you can kind of see the globules of CBD in there. Yeah. It's actually like really.
So it looks like a 2 ounce tincture bottle and she's taking the dropper out,
good shake.
shaking it up. Yeah, it does look like you can see some hemp on there or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Usually I just do a couple of drops on the back of the hand. That's how bartenders tend to taste it.
Cool. Let me try.
But it's almost like we call it our IPA bitters.
All right. I got it in my hand here.
And you will notice like
Whoa.
really strong flavor. You're only using a couple of drops in either a cocktail or I love it as a post-lunch digestive aid. It just like facilitates it. Bitters stimulate your liver and promote peristalsis, and your liver then produces bile, and which helps like move things along. So you actually like, it really helps you after a meal.
Such a like outstanding taste that's like hard to compare it to other things. Like I can taste a little of the orange peel in there, but wow.
Yeah.
Like it's hard to place it, you know?
There's a lot going on. I like to combine the two. I'll actually either make like a mellow currant or a watermelon chill soda and then just top this off. But I can't do it like if I have to, like usually when I'm like packing and shipping and stuff like that, because I do get really like mellowed out and chill. And so if I'm writing emails in the afternoon and I'm just like staring at a screen, I kind of ixnay the bitters, especially the broad spectrum. I'll just usually like sip on a CBD soda all day.
Well, you know, if it's 300 milligrams and it's 2 fluid ounces, 300 divided by like each pull out of that is probably
like 5 to 10 milligrams, I believe, something along those lines.
Is it?
I think so. I think that's what we did the math. And I think that each one of these, I think 3 droppers full is 15 milligrams.
Okay. So it's really not that much, especially if you're only doing a couple drops of it, you know.
But I'm definitely sensitive to it for sure. I've found and some people are not. I've definitely noticed, we had a really great guy who worked here previously. He was delightful, but he did smoke marijuana, but then he stopped like midway through, I would say, and stopped smoking like midway through his not shift, but like his time here, and he noticed right away that he was way more sensitive to it because he wasn't smoking like that form of cannabis anymore. And so he noticed that his sensitivity spiked. He was just like, oh yeah, I feel it a lot more.
Wow. So
yeah, it's like, I think that just your threshold is just quite a bit higher if you're constantly like taking it in. But if you're not and you're only partaking like every once in a while, then I feel like it immediately affects you. Like I feel it now.
That's great. Is there any other way to take that, or is it just you're taking it as a tincture? You
can take it as a tincture. You could put it in seltzer if you wanted. It's like my dad will actually put this in his beer. He'll add and it really helps him. He likes IPAs, so he'll just add a few.
I could see that working in a beer.
Works great.
It's a very interesting taste. Our taste buds are trying to grasp for a taste that's familiar because shrub is so unfamiliar to what we're into. So. It's like, I get the orange. I can sense the orange. Even if it's the smallest part, we can taste it because that's something that our taste buds are familiar with, you know, all these taste buds that are getting activated to stuff we've never had before. So that's a really interesting taste. Very cool.
It's interesting because flavors and smells are so closely related to the memory part of the brain.
Oh,
and
sure.
We
talk about that all the time.
Yeah, exactly. So it sort of stimulates your memories. And so I think that when people try it, they're trying to, and it is kind of a new blend of flavors like vinegar and watermelon. Like a lot of people don't really partake in that on a daily basis. And so when you're trying that for the first time, it's sort of really, you're trying to grasp and like come up with a memory and fulfill a memory.
A sense memory. Yeah. It makes like, we talk a lot about like when you smell something or taste something that you've tasted years ago, it sort of time travels you, you know, like your inner, like, your inner sense of taste goes back and takes you back to that other time. And you sense yourself as a kid doing it or whatever it happened. And you know, it's funny because this is the first time I'm trying this. Like the next time I try this, I'm going to think of us doing this because that'll be the initial like
introduction
it's the first part of the chain of all the times you do it in your life, you know?
Yeah. And I think it's because the olfactory, which is the smelling sense part of your brain, is really closely located near the memory part of the brain. And so that is why, so olfactory really stimulates memories because those same neurons are firing.
I wonder if having cannabinoids involved in like sparking our endocannabinoid system at the same time kind of like is doing something even further that we don't know, you know?
It's very possible.
So let's try, you have another one there.
Currant. Here we go.
Yeah. What is this?
So this is the mellow currant. We loved our watermelon chill, but we find that watermelon, a lot of people aren't craving watermelon in fall, winter.
Oh yeah, no.
And so people still really responded to it and still do really like it. But we found that we wanted to have like a deeper, more resonant sort of more intense kind of flavor, and that people could kind of get behind around holiday time. People still liked the watermelon and still responded to it. And people do like this one, the mellow currant in the summertime, but we found that it's like more deeper and intense. And not everybody likes watermelon. It can be a polarizing flavor. So we wanted to provide
You throw watermelon
options.
in a wine cooler and you're good to go.
Oh yeah. I'm a watermelon nut. So I
look at that.
Yeah.
It's very, very dark, rich color. This is a red color, like a maroon or like a very
like
deep wine. Yeah. Like a deep Merlot or something.
And we do recommend that as like a wine alternative. You can just add it to cold water.
So she just added the seltzer to this. What is it called?
Mellow
currant. All right. It's a drinking vinegar, it says on it. And it has a little hemp silhouette there on the label.
Yeah. I think people really respond to that, the visual of it, because they see that, they see the cannabis leaf and they're just like, ooh.
And probably a lot of people are like, is this going to get me high?
Yeah. That was actually my first response to CBD. I was actually, when I was working in a restaurant, in a fairly like high stress restaurant, and I had a terrible headache and a tension headache, and my upper back was hurting me, and I was really dreading my shift. And, I mentioned this to one of my coworkers, and she said, here, take a pull off of this. And she had a vape pen, and it was just CBD oil.
Right.
And I was like, I can't be high right now. I was like, that will ruin everything if I get high.
Not on the clock.
No, that's not what it is. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I would not be able to function. And so she said, no, it's fine. And CBD, it's so interesting because it wasn't like I got a feeling like, ooh, like people think of marijuana and they kind of associate it with that, and they think that you'll feel this feeling. But what I just noticed was I was going along and I was like, oh, my headache is gone and I feel really relaxed. But I can still function and perform all of my basic activities without sort of feeling brain dead.
Exactly.
And so a lot of people are like, what does it feel like? And I'm like, well, it just sort of, the best way that I can describe it, and I think the New York Times described it this way, but they said it's like a full body massage on a molecular level. Huh. And I think that is one of the best descriptions of CBD that I've ever experienced. It just takes the edge off, just shaves down those pointy edges of existence.
Sure. Yeah. Lubes you up, lubes up the joints, all that
Literally,
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. This morning, my right shoulder was killing me. I threw some CBD balm on there,
best.
It didn't do everything. But now that I'm drinking this, I'm like, I don't feel anything. Like seriously, full range of motion is back.
I'm a big fan of like tag teaming it with internal and external. So a lot of people are like, oh, should I take this if like my shoulder hurts? I'm like, yes, absolutely. Enjoy this. This is a really fun, playful way of getting CBD into your life. But also I would say using a localized external form is also excellent. You can just
whatever the sore part is, just rub it in.
Totally tackle it. So it can be like internal and fully systemic while also localized.
Sure. All right. I'm staring at this delicious looking concoction.
Matches your head.
It does.
It matches you very well, actually.
All right. I'm going to try this. You don't have one? Oh, you still got some.
Oh, yeah. I'm still working on my watermelon. That's my homie right there.
What am I tasting here?
Those are black currants, which are grown actually right around here by a really great farm operated by Greg Quinn, I believe, Crop Farms, Crop Farm is the name of his farm. It's down in Dutchess County. I go and pick up the product, the actual black currants from him directly.
What are black currants?
They are they almost look like a little blueberry. They are a very tart, astringent, like superfood berry that are just loaded with antioxidants and vitamin C. They're very tart. And for a long time, they were actually illegal to grow in the state of New York because previously, I believe it was some sort of mildew or fungus was growing on them decades ago. Right. And so they were outlawed, and Greg Quinn kind of lobbied the government and was like, no, they're actually safe again. And he started, I believe his operation is one of the largest operations in America. But he has just this like beautiful, very bucolic, gorgeous pastoral farm. out in Dutchess County that is a joy to go visit. And he's an avid ornithologist. So while I'm picking up the black currants, he'll tell me about the varying birds that we're seeing. And so it's really, really lovely. We have this very like emotional and actual genuine connection with a lot of the people growing our fruit.
I love that. I love how in touch you are with nature and going straight to the farm and pulling it back. Very cool. And like you were saying with the watermelon, and that it's all done in with vinegars. Like this is what you could have done in like primitive times and like taken it overseas and like stored it on a boat and it would taste the same when you got there. No more
scurvy for you.
Right. Yeah. Why didn't they think of this?
I know. It's fools.
Right.
Yeah. And also it would help, wine and vinegar could help make water more potable because water, if you think about it back in only until recently, water was extremely dangerous to drink. People were constantly dying of cholera and diphtheria and all these horrible diseases.
Like the colonists all drank beer. They didn't drink water. Because
that fermentation process, the yeasts and those creatures were a lot safer and healthier for the gut than anything that you might find in water. And they didn't understand. I don't think they fully understood why it worked, but they just knew that it worked. Soldiers, they were a bit poorer than the patricians, the higher echelon group of Rome, ancient Rome. And so Roman soldiers previously drank a spoiled wine, which was called posca, and they would flavor it with different herbs and spices. And that was kind of an early shrub. And it was a lot safer to drink than water. So people were drinking, if you were wealthy, you drank wine. If you were poor, you drank vinegar. Oh, wow. Yeah, and so drinking vinegars have been around for a very, very long time. I think ancient China had versions of drinking vinegars, and they knew that it was hydrating, and they knew that it was also safer to drink than water. And now we have safe water to drink, but recreationally, it's very enjoyable to still
I feel like I'm drinking back hundreds of generations right now. I keep sneaking sips while you're talking.
Yeah.
So don't mind me.
No, please. Hydrate away. I've actually been tricked before by people. I think someone mixed our watermelon chill shrub with our spicy turmeric shrub. A spicy turmeric is the one that does not have CBD in it. And they mixed it with just some seltzer, and they gave it back to me and they said, "Here, try this." And I thought they had made me a cocktail. I said, "Is there booze in this? This tastes like I'm drinking a cocktail." And they're like, "No, they tricked me with my own product." Like I thought I knew everything.
There's no alcohol in any of this stuff, right?
Well, there's alcohol in bitters, but typically, I do say if people just absolutely do not drink or cannot have alcohol, I say avoid the bitters because they do have alcohol, but you're using typically like 5 or 6 drops. So it's so negligible in a full glass of water. But if you just want to be safe, that's totally fine. But the vinegar is completely safe for children and anybody.
Right. So I think we might have a bottle of it, but haven't broken it out yet.
Well, we'll give you a little recipe booklet.
Cool.
For sure.
Awesome. Well, thanks for showing me all your stuff.
Yeah, for sure.